Right, here we go. This one's coming with 298,600, nearly 300,000 kilometres. While we wait for the scan tool to fire it, let's have a quick look under the bonnet. Firstly, don't worry about the noise. That's because we've got the key on for the scan tool. It's looking a bit cleaner than before. Yep, this is the one we cleaned up. We spent a few slabs of Heineken cleaning it up. I mean, a bit of time cleaning it up. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to need a number of more cleans, but it's clean enough to work on, to do injector replacement properly for once. Probably never been done. Seals replaced or something, whatever they did, you know what I mean? I mean, whatever they did, you know, this is the one that had that oil filter, but now we've got a genuine one on there and it's all cleaned up. Of course, we can't get all the staining off the alloy there, but doesn't that look better than before, yeah? Anyway, it's clean enough we can get in there and do some work. Of course, there's a lot of old staining on there, but it's looking pretty good, but you might be surprised at what we see on the scan tool this time, so let's go and have a look. All right, let's start it up and we'll see what it does. Any smoke on startup. Oh yeah, yep. All right, let's have a look at the scan tool. Squeaky at all the belts and bearings. That'll be all fixed as part of the BFE. Hear that? Terrible. Fixed just like the other car was fixed. At the end of this video, I'll go to the other car we did last that had all that noise and show you how noisy it is now. Now, one of the most important readings here, just going to back it out of the workshop a little bit so that I'm not getting dieseled out, because that's what happens. Get out and get some fresh air, hopefully. All right, this scan tool doesn't like the cold weather. In Melbourne today, I think, if I remember correctly, could be the first day of winter, but the sun's shining and I promise you I was just out there washing the car in shorts, no top on, absorbing my vitamin D, because that's what you need to do. No wind, beautiful day, not cold at all, just fantastic. But anyway, see that load reading? It's a cold engine, but it's off its head. Now, the one you're going to be surprised about, and I already know because my offside has already told me what's going on, so that's why we're looking at it. And you might be surprised and educated to know that injection volume, because this is one of our main ones, see at the top there, injection volume, it's one of the things that matters, that sometimes it can go down. So everybody thinks when load goes up, that's a problem, correct, but it can also go down. So be aware that they can go up and then down again, and if you've got a really low load reading, you've really got to be looking at everything in the age of the injectors, because these readings for your everyday punter can be quite confusing. So see that injection volume on this vehicle when it's warm should be around 15. It can be anything from about 13 through to 17, 18's normal. Okay, so a lot of variables on that, like a 150 Prado or the Hiluxes from September 09 till the end. But look at this one, we've got a cold engine we've just started. It's already down to 10, 11. Look how quick it's going down. The engine's hard, it's not warming up, it's stone cold, right? It's stone cold, this engine. Okay, so this is what you got. Oh, but look at the feedback values. Everything's okay, you know, it doesn't need injectors. No, you're talking to the wrong people. Okay, there's some other readings we could look at, but let's not confuse things. Let's just focus on this one at the moment. I'm just going to have a quick look and see what's going on. Let's have a look at fuel pressure so everybody knows. Target's around close to 35, changing a little bit because it hasn't warmed up yet. And see the actuals between about 32, 35, 36 max, right? That's just basically perfectly normal fuel pressure if you've got that. So you don't need to look for any longer than that. That's it, that's normal, unless you've got problems. If you've got problems, then you can look harder. Now, load reading, yeah, not too bad. Let's go back to the, so at the end of this one, I'll show you the other vehicle and how the BFE fixes all those squeaky noises, and you won't hear them, guaranteed for 150,000 Ks. Well, unless you go and park in bog holes every weekend, but yeah. Right, I'm gonna go for a drive now because I want to drive this. Apparently it's really gutless, and this scan tool will show you the reason why once I get back from the drive and it's warmed up. So take note of that injection volume. All right, here we go. So quick drive. Everything would look pretty normal. Coolant temp's only 75. It's not fully warmed up yet, but it's warm enough for you to see which way things are headed. Show you where the temperature gauge sits when the coolant's at 75 degrees. There you go, bonus information. Okay. Intake air, 15. So out in the sun with no wind, it feels nice and warm, but it's still only 15 degrees, but it's beautiful. Beautiful out there. Okay, important readings. What's going on here, people should be thinking? What's going on here? Is this, to have a reading like injection volume like that? was down on 7 before. Interesting. Reading's actually not too bad, not what I was thinking. Yeah, well, there you go. Was everyone waiting for something to happen? Yeah, me too. Sorry about that. Nothing too exciting. And this is what I'm telling you. As bad as these things look, and as much as it's probably the original injectors, there's nothing showing up on the readings to tell us there's any issue whatsoever in my experience. Now, it's noisy. It's got some rattles and stuff there that are not... Look, don't get me wrong. I've said it before. These Hiluxes, they are a bit noisy. I'll say sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they're noisy. Depends if you've got the window up or down, the radio on or off. So they're not really noisy. But if you've got your window up and the radio off, they can seem really noisy. And I suppose that means they are. Look at this coolant though. There's hardly any coolant in there, if there's any coolant whatsoever. So certainly needs a BFE job for a number of reasons. We'll get the injectors done. It's done 300,000 Ks. It is high risk. I'd highly recommend shipping at least $500 and getting in the crack piston fund with an engine like this, because it's higher risk, and for it to be favourable on you, then you've got away with leaving it so long. And don't worry about those noises. That happens, you know, cooling, heating, cooling. Some people worry about those things. Don't worry about it. They don't all do it, but some do it, some don't. Sometimes it depends who's worked on it and what's been left loose or tight, or it could be whatever. It could be anything, so don't worry about it. It's not something to worry about. Anyway, pretty boring video, unfortunately, but the thing to note was when we started the engine, it did blow a little bit of blue smoke, which can mean a bit of engine wear. Look, it could actually mean there's a crack across the piston. It hasn't blown through yet. I don't think so, but it could mean that. So it could be about to pop any minute, because it is 300,000 kilometers. This is super high risk. As I say, there's always a reason. And look, bada bing, what else can I say? There's no point looking back now. Move ahead. It's time to do the injector replacement. It's time to do it right. Do it once, do it right the first time, and it will be good for another 300,000 Ks most likely. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to recommend, you know, on the full DLC injectors of the 150s, if you can do enough kilometers, you can push it out to 200,000 Ks, even a bit more, okay? So here you go. Trying to put myself out of business again. I'm not trying to sell you injectors. I'm trying to unsell you. If you've done 300,000 Ks on anything, you're long overdue, you're high risk, get your injector kit and say, hey, what's this crack piston fund? Join the VIP group, get in there and search crack piston fund, ask everybody else what's going on, and then pay the money. It's just like-minded people. You're making a donation, goes in a separate account. We've got some engines in stock. We've got working towards money for more engines, money towards labor, like-minded people that are probably not going to have any issues because they're doing all the right maintenance. But like I said, people that look after their vehicles, lower kilometers and doing, they're sort of going, don't let this guy in, mate. Look at the car, you know? So look, each to their own. The right people are going to get in. But the way it works is the higher risk you are, for you to get more coverage, if you like. It's not insurance, there's no guarantees, but if you put in $100, you're not going to get an engine. If you've put in $300, you might get an engine, you might even get some labor, if you've done injectors at the right intervals. And you might not have known, it's not your fault, I'm not blaming you, but it's just how it is now. This is high risk, so it needs a higher contribution, and vehicles like this, that's what they'll need. But you can't lose. If nothing ever happens to your vehicle, you've put in $500 or more, whatever it is, to help other people. So give and you will receive. What a beautiful system. And if it ever happens to you, I can guarantee you're going to get back a lot more than you give. So where's the problem? If you put in $1,000 and you get $3,000 toward a new engine, you can't go wrong. If you put in 500 and you get $5,000 towards a new engine, you can't go wrong. I can't tell you what it's going to be. The last guy put in $100. He was the first. We'll call him the first and last, since we've been operating this system for years. He was the first, could be the last for a fair while. He put in $100 and he's getting a free engine, absolutely free engine, injectors, fuel pipes. He's got to pay labor, he's got to pay gaskets, coolant, oils, and optional extras that he went for, like a new turbo, new engine mount, stuff like that, right? So of course he's got a bill there, but free engine for $100. And yes, he'll be contributing, even though it's not likely to happen to him again, he'll be contributing again and again and again. So if you want to know more about the Crack Piston Fund, you need to just keep watching our videos. There's playlists there called Crack Pistons. There's playlists called Free Engines. You can try that road if you like. Some people just can't be bothered. A vehicle like this, if you take it to Toyota and ask for warranty, I don't think you're going to get much. They're going to ask for service history. They're going to send photos to TMCA. They're going to laugh, right? You know, this is an ex-mine vehicle sort of thing, you know. If you didn't guess it already, that does make a difference. Absolutely, it does. See all this rust you're seeing around? That's not a Toyota thing, right? That is a factor from the environment. Okay, I suppose this video was worthwhile in the end anyway. I actually thought I was going to see something in the readings on this one, but you know, we got unlucky, unfortunately. But look how clean it is. Look at those rubbers, how clean they are after Johnny just spent hours cleaning it, really. Bit of rust stain there you're not going to get rid of. That's the edge of it there because the cover normally goes over the intercooler. You know how it works. Right, anyway, I've waffled enough. We're here to help you out, educate you whatever we can. So if you want that education, subscribe, turn the bell on. If you don't, do whatever you need to do. And if you learned something, hit the like button. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.